Hello there, welcome to the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon. I'm here with my good friend Nick.
Hi everybody.
So today we're going to do something a little different. I wanted to do another episode of the podcast, but I thought, maybe let's switch it up, do a little something different. So now we're doing kind of like a vlog type video. So we're going to talk about a few different things today. We're going to talk about the Champions League Final and preview. We're going to do a recap of the Champions League season. We're going to do a recap of the season in general from a Barcelona fans' point of view. If you don't know, I'm a Barcelona fan, and also from an Arsenal fans' point of view. If you don't know, Nick is an Arsenal supporter. So we're also going to have possibly some other opinions from our other friends who are, fans of other clubs around the world, and they're going to talk about what their club did this season, or what they think they should do in the transfer window, and where do you think they should go from here in the future, and all that stuff. So let's get right into it. And I would say first, let's do a recap of the Champions League season. So right now it is 2 days away from PSG versus Bayern in the Champions League Final. In my opinion, I think this season, wasn't the best, especially from a Barcelona. Yes, especially from a Barcelona point of view, wasn't the best. But there were some memorable moments. I think Bayern has by far been the best team in the tournament. I think they just utterly steamrolled everyone. You talk about, like, they beat Tottenham 7-2, they beat Red Star Belgrade 6-0, Chelsea 7-1 on aggregate, and then of course the Barcelona score. And then even in they scored 3 against Lyon, three unanswered goals in the Champions League semi-final, and then now they're in the final. PSG, on the other hand, I thought they're definitely deserving of a spot in the final, but there's been moments where they've struggled. They had to come back against Atalanta with 2 late goals. They lost the first leg against Borussia Dortmund. They even struggled a little bit against Real Madrid in the group stage. So I don't know. For me, my opinion is that I think I wish Barcelona was in the final. I think Bayern is going to win this. I'm going to say 4-1, because their attack is just so strong. They got Lewandowski on 15 goals this season in Champions League. Serge Gnabry with, I think, 9 goals. And then you have, Coutinho and Thomas Muller. You have all these other guys there. It's unstoppable. PSG, their top goal scorers are Mbappe and Icardi with 5 each. Now, granted, all 10 of those goals are all scored in the group stage. So I think it's just, I think PSG is going to get 1 goal on the break, because Bayern plays such a high line. I'm going to turn around. It's kind of getting there. Yeah. So, like I said, I think PSG are going to get a goal on the break because Bayern plays such a high line. But, dude, Bayern's attack and their midfield, they just dominate every single game they play. I think they're going to control the midfields, and, PSG's not going to be able to have enough time on the ball. And you're just going to funnel the ball up into Lewandowski, up to Muller, up to Gnabry, and it's just going to be unstoppable. I think Bayern, as boring as it is to see sometimes the team just beat everyone, you have to give them credit. This is probably one of the best teams I've ever seen, ever, in a Champions League season. If they don't win on Sunday, this will probably be the best team I've seen not win the Champions League. So that's my prediction. I'm saying 4-1 for Bayern Munich. What do you think, Nick? If you want to, you can hold the camera if you want.
Well, look, this whole time, we didn't get the People's Final. The People's Final would have been either, Atalanta versus Lyon, Atalanta versus RB Leipzig, or Atalanta versus or RB Leipzig versus Lyon. Sorry, no, we didn't get that. So we can't have any nice things in the Champions League, but Bayern Munich just looked to be simply a cut above the rest. It's their world, and it seems like every other team just living in it. Kind of to echo what Brandon said, it would be very difficult for PSG to get it done, because look, let's face it, we all like Atalanta. I'd like to think we all do, but we all do. So, but the fact that it took them, to the 90th minute to get anything going for PSG with their firepower, they have at their disposal against honestly an inferior team, that does not bode well for them against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich should really just rip through them. My prediction, if I haven't made it clear yet, is that Bayern Munich, they should win this match. I'll say 3-0. I think, even though the defense is the weak point of the team, I think they can hold off, PSG. Even though Neymar, Mbappe, Icardi, they're formidable. I think they can be held back. But yeah, I'd like to think that Bayern Munich will be able to get this done. It's been a little while since they got it done last time, and it looks like for PSG they're just gonna have to keep on waiting. Because I know they're basically the city of continental Europe, where they had this takeover, and their main goal was to get the big fish, get the Champions League. Now they've done everything that they can domestically, but they haven't been able to get it done in Europe, and I think that's going to be the same old story for just another year. So I'm going to say Bayern Munich 3, PSG 0. Now we don't know how it's going to go, because I thought that Inter was going to bring it home today, but that didn't exactly turn out how we thought. Yeah. So I guess with that we should pivot into the next part, which is our recap of the superior final, the Europa League final
competition.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, and that was an exciting game the whole time. There was not a lot of chances, but the chances that were taken and that happened, for the most part, each team made them count. I think there's only one goal from open play, which was at De Jong's first. A very nice header, for the superior De Jong, I might add.
All five goals. All 5 goals I thought were pretty good. They were all, none of them were, kind of just like scrappy. They were all like well thought out goals. Even the last goal took a deflection, but in my opinion, I thought it was going in anyway. After Diego Carlos' that heel kick. So I don't know. I thought this final, in my opinion, was a great final. A great way to cap off what I thought was a really exciting season. You saw a lot of great teams. Like I was just saying before we recorded this, all 4 semifinalists had a reasonable shout winning the tournament. Inter, just by squad, probably the best team in the tournament. Sevilla, it's Sevilla. They're always a contender for Europa League, and now they have far more than anyone else. I think
they have got 6.
Yeah, 6. I think Inter has like this.
Inter has 5.
I
think I said 5.
Okay, I thought it was 3. I don't know. Either way, Sevilla has more Europa Leagues than anyone else, and then the other semi-finalist, Man United, big club. They're in good form. They're winning a lot of games. And even Shakhtar, while their defense wasn't the best, they were scoring a lot of goals in Europe. They had some really good performances. So I thought this tournament overall, like I said, very exciting. The final was just like that, end-to-end stuff. We're talking like 35 minutes, and it's already 2-2. So I feel really bad for Diego Godin that he lost another final. I feel really bad for Lukaku because I thought he played great this season. Unfortunate that he lost, and he played well in the final despite the goal. Yeah, despite the deflection, he played really well. Again, big props to Luke De Jong, because Nick will tell you before the game, I was trashing this guy. I was saying this guy is terrible. Sevilla need a new striker. Netherlands don't have a proper striker because Luke De Jong's not good, and then he goes and scores a brace in the final. So, credit to him. He had a man of the match in my opinion.
He had a great game. It's nice that Sevilla, wins it, because every year that they're in the Europa League, it feels like they're deserving. But you do have to kind of feel, unless if you don't like Inter, you have to feel for them. It's a decade without a trophy. They haven't won the Europa League this millennium. It'd have been a nice story for this team to get it done. But at the same time, it's a nice story for Sevilla, for Ever Banega going off with a winner's medal, and for the manager, I can't remember his name. The first trophy. Yeah,
so he saw him in tears after the game. Even though he coached Real Madrid, and even though he messed up Spain's World Cup run, I still felt really happy for him that he finally won his first game. You could see the emotion in his eyes.
Yeah, and also for Diego Carlos to honestly play terrible in the first half. Gave up the did not have today. But then, coming up with it, really out of nowhere, caught both me and Brandon by surprise when we were watching the match. Came up with a great bicycle kick. I don't know if it was going on target, but it doesn't matter. Hit the twine. So he got it done. He's the guy that I'll be remembered as winning the Europa League for Sevilla. So that's a nice story for him. But unfortunately, end to a pretty good season for Inter Milan.
Yeah. So anyway, on from there, I was thinking let's do a season recap for the teams that we support. So let me start. I'll go with Barcelona. So all right, a little history. I started to support Barcelona in 2014. That's when I really started watching football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. I was in high school. That's when I started really getting into the sport. And Barcelona this season is honestly the worst I've ever seen them. Every season, there's been ups and downs. Like the 2016-17 season, we only won one trophy, but there were some great moments in that. This season, the lows were really low and the highs weren't that high. Like off the top of my head, if I think of the best moments of this season, maybe the game against Dortmund in a group stage of the Champions League, the game against Villarreal last month. That's pretty much it. Like, it's not much. Yeah, maybe the back heel goal that Suarez scored. Other than that, there's not really much beyond like the normal Messi saving us every other game, and then a humiliating Champions League exit. So I think this season is the tail end of a series of decline that you can see every season just gets worse and worse and worse, and then this is hopefully rock bottom. Hopefully it does not get worse than this, and then that starts with the reason for this decline is the board. Bartomeu, the whole board, all the problems start there. They don't really know how to run a football club. All they really care about is the money, and then the problems just trickle down there to the manager, to the players, to everything else. Valverde should not have been the manager at the start of the season. He should have been sacked. After at least after the Liverpool defeat. I mean, definitely after the Copa del Rey loss in the final. Should not have started the season. Setien, I feel really bad for him because a lot of Barcelona fans think he was terrible. I personally think he's a great coach, but he came at the worst possible time. So you had he didn't even have a transfer window or a preseason. He inherited a club full of old players and players who did not like him. The players purposely did not listen to him, and then that's where the problem started. I mean, you can see glimpses. He did make some improvements, but overall wasn't enough. And I think that it was the right decision to sack him because the players he lost the dressing room. Ronald Koeman's coming in, and I try to be a positive person. I'm excited for Ronald Koeman. I think he's going to bring, you can start to see he's bringing this like Dutch revolution back to Barcelona. He wants to sign Donny van de Beek. He wants to sign Memphis Depay. And I think, honestly, that could be a really good, direction to go with the club because Netherlands has a ton of really good upcoming talents right now. I think Barcelona need sort of like a revolution, maybe not a revolution, but they need huge change. Piqué said it the best. He said they need structural changes, not just the players, all across the board. I think that the best thing to do right now is to get Koeman in there to not have high expectations. Don't expect him to win the Champions League. Just kind of expect him to plant the seeds for another, for all these generational talents. Bring in young guys, promote people from La Masia, and then, ship out some of the old guys, get rid of Rakitic, maybe even Jordi Alba, maybe even Busquets, maybe even Suarez. A lot of these guys that have way too much power, because player power is a huge problem at Barcelona. So I think get rid of these guys, make sure Messi stays at the club, and then when Bartomeu leaves in 2021 and they have a new election, whoever comes in, they're probably going to bring Xavi as a manager.
I don't know. I think see how Koeman does. If he does a great job, keep him. If not, bring in Chevy. And then at that point, look up from there. Try to go back to the identity, playing tiki-taka, possession-based, beautiful football. You know, the whole total football thing. Stay with that. And then I think if they stick with that, Barcelona can go back to being one of the best teams in the world. Because right now, you know, they're really far below. And if Messi leaves Barcelona would go down. I'm being serious. I think if you don't have Messi, Barcelona becomes a team that is like not even fighting for top 4 in Spain, because you know Real Madrid's really consistent right now. Atletico's getting better. Sevilla is doing really good. You know, Valencia kind of shot themselves in the foot, but Villarreal has done some serious business in the transfer window. So so you're looking at Barcelona, who, you know, would potentially be fighting for Europa League spots. Like, imagine Barcelona in Europa League, you know. So I think there's in dire straits. They need to handle this situation very carefully. But I try to stay positive. I'm excited for Ronald Koeman. I think he's not a great manager, but I think he's very good, and I think he knows Barcelona. It could potentially be a good match. So from there, that's where I think Barcelona should go. Now, Nick's going to talk about Arsenal. I think it's a good match because Arsenal and Barcelona have a lot of connected history over the years. You know, you look at a lot of players that played for both clubs: Alexis Sanchez, Cesc Fabregas, Hector Bellerin. A lot of these guys played for the a lot of these guys play for the same club. They kind of have a similar club philosophy. They like to play possession-based, you know, not aesthetically pleasing football. So here, I'll pass it over to Nick.
All right, yeah. So, you know, as Brandon said, and as you can see from the top, I do support Arsenal. Gotta get my thumb out of the shot. But yeah, and you know, this has been a club where there hasn't been, you know, a lot of positivity in recent years. You know, I started supporting this team, you know, same time that Brandon started supporting Barcelona, around I think it was 14-15 was 14-15 was the first season. And you know, there was some positivity with the club in 14-15. I think next year 15-16 where they came second. You know, there were some chances that they had. You know, honestly, that was the year they should have won the league, but you know, what can you do? You know, Leicester had that amazing season there, and you know, they had their chance. They botched it. But you know, really since then, you know, 2017, 18, 19, there's been very little positivity, you know, surrounding this club. You know, whether it was Emery, who, you know, even going into this season, I still had high hopes for. You know, I thought we'd shrug off that defeat in the Europa League Final and get it going again this year, but that just did not happen. You know, we were flatter than a 3-day-old can of Coke for, you know, right out the gate. And you know, honestly, thank God for Eintracht Frankfurt, you know, knocking us down a peg. You know, really causing some problems. You know, sending Emery out of the club, and then, you know, bringing in Youngberg, who was aight, you know. But then, you know, we brought in Arteta, and you know, even though we only came 8th, since Arteta has been at the helm, you know, it's been very encouraging, you know, for me. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will agree. That's been very encouraging, even though we, you know, like, sure, Liverpool might have been on the beach in their heads, but we still beat them. You know, we beat them. We took Man City to the cleaners in the semi-final. We beat Chelsea in the final to win the FA Cup. You know, we had a terrible season, but you know, if you look at it, still a better season than United, still a better season than Chelsea, still a better season than Tottenham. You know, Wolves, Sheffield. You know, even though Wolves and Sheffield aren't, you know, at a similar size to, you know, Arsenal as a club, you know, they finished above us, but we still won a trophy. You know, so I'd say it's a better season, you know, but yeah, you know, it's definitely encouraging going forward. You know, we brought in Willian, which I'm not loving. You know, I think on the wings, you know, we have a lot of great talent. You know, we have Pepe, who, you know, I'm gonna be honest, he stunk in the first half of the season, but then once we got to around January, you know, he really turned it around. He really started playing well. You know, he really showed a lot. So, you know, it was a tale of two seasons for what was that? It was tale of two seasons for Pepe this year. You know, we have some really good like young guys. You know, like Martinelli. We have Reece Nelson. You know, we have, you know, even though he's not young, we have Aubameyang who, you know, can play on the wing. You know, we have Nketiah who's a forward who's young. You know, we have Emile Smith-Rowe who's, you know, jury's still out on him, but you know we have a lot of young talent. So I wasn't thrilled about bringing in Willian. You know, I've also seen reports of potentially bringing in Zaha, which I'm not even though he's a quality player, I'm not over the moon about it. But you know, for this summer,
you would expect like defensive signings, you know,
well,
center back or.
There has been a lot of talk about bringing in a Brazilian center back by the name of Gabriel, who plays for Lille in Ligue 1. So you know. He's doing a medical. I believe he's going to sign. It would be a 5-year deal. We're going to have William Saliba from Saint Etienne come in. We loaned him back out to Saint Etienne after we signed him last season, which is it's very encouraging to have him. You know, a back three of potentially you know, Saliba, Gabriel, and Kieran Tierney. You know, I'm with Emi Martinez in goal. I'm very excited about that prospect. But the most important thing really is that we have to sign Aubameyang. Have to sign Aubameyang to a new contract. You know, it seems like he's very keen on re-signing, which is fantastic. But you know, without him, we're in a lot of trouble without Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Yeah.
But you know, if we can, you know, we're not going to get rid of Ozil. That's just not going to happen, unfortunately. You know, I don't know if honestly even bringing in Thomas Partey is going to do anything for us, because you know the tandem, and I don't know about if we can even retain Ceballos, but the tandem of Ceballos and Granit Xhaka, if you can believe it, was actually quite good this season. So, you know, I'd like to think the future is bright for Arsenal, but something that is not, you know, making me optimistic is how Arsenal are going to look next season because of the kits. The home, and like this kit, this is, you know, the one that they wore this season. I saw it and I was like, you know, I gotta have it. I gotta have the long sleeve. But this new kit with the arrows on the chest and the weird shoulder and the Adidas down the side, and you know, and the road kit with the, you know, the marble pattern, you know, and this is a common theme that we've been seeing a lot this year with teams doing, you know, these weird patterns like City and Liverpool. You know, I call them the pool kits because, you know, City's home kit and Liverpool's away kit, it looks like you're looking, you know, at the bottom of a pool, like with that dopey pattern that they have. You know, there's a lot of kits this season that I'm just, you know, whether it's Arsenal, I hope their third kit looks nice. But, you know, I'm really unenthused by what they're going to be wearing this season. But a team that I do like, that I think has a really nice look, is Watford with their, as I like to call it, their Imperial Japanese kit with, you know, like the rays coming out from the badge. I think that's a really nice look. And even though I don't like the collar, because I don't really like a lot of Nike kits, because they're all the same and they all have, and I always think they have terrible collars, but this year especially, Barcelona's away. They have a really nice kit. The black, that's always, you know, that's something that, you know, you very rarely go wrong with. So, you know, that's kind of my take on, you know, Arsenal, and then a little bit of a tangent about how some of these teams are looking to express themselves in this upcoming season, shall we say.
So overall, I think we had a good discussion. We talked about what we think is going to happen in the Champions League final. Like I said, I think it's going to be Bayern Munich 4, PSG 1. Nick said Bayern Munich 3, PSG 0. Yeah, I'm confident in my prediction. I don't know about you. I'm very confident in mine.
I'm confident in the result, not necessarily the goals.
Yeah. I think we talked about the Europa League final, which was very good. We both agreed on. And we also talked about Barcelona season, where they're going from here. I think that they're going downward. I hope they can go up. They definitely have the potential to do that. On the other hand, Arsenal has some very good-looking signs. It looks like they're on the upward. So, you know, for Barcelona's sake, I hope they do well. For Nick's sake, I hope Arsenal also do well. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys like this type of video, please let us know in the comments below. So again, have a good night. Have fun watching the Champions League final. See you later.
Thank you, everybody.